one in Sharknado. No.
Yeah. Oh,
At least most of it.
When there's that one
classic
part where the shark comes after the guy and he's like, "Oh crap!" and the shark eats him. I'm like, really? The shark's coming after you, and you yell, "Oh crap!"
I can't believe you hadn't seen it before.
It was like a moral
something to laugh at.
Yeah, I had
something to laugh
stand my
at
moral
and
ground.
something to applaud at the same time, I think.
You got to have like
You
a
haven't
drinking
seen
game
it.
when
That you
you
had
watch
seen it,
that.
yeah, right.
Hi,
That's true.
Jim.
Jim is on.
Jim's here.
Hey,
how's it going?
do a quick. So we just went live. So if you happen to be watching us, welcome to Stormfront Freaks Raw. This is episode 144. We've got the amazing Jim Tang, storm chaser photographer, is going to be with us. But if you happen to be watching this live, you're one of our Patreon members, certainly join us in the chat. Let us know you're here. I see Curtis, Steve. Both are on so far.
Oh, Cowboy Steve.
We've got, of course, Dan and Angela are in the house with us as usual. And if you happen to be streaming this after the fact, I want to remind you, so we call this Stormfront Freaks Raw because you are watching the raw recording of our audio podcast. So we end up editing this thing and posting it on all the podcast apps and players and all that stuff, and our website, stormfrontfreaks.com. But it's edited. So we always caution you, if you're watching Stormfront Freaks Raw, keep your earmuffs handy. You never know what's going to be said or what you're going to hear. Heck, you never know what you might see because Brady's on tonight, so who knows what's going to happen. But anyway, thanks for joining us, and certainly check out our Patreon website, patreon.com/stormfrontfreaks. If you want to join all of our awesome members who get access to all this stuff live, and they get to stream it for the first month exclusively. You can get access to some great merch that we send out to folks. Or like Dan and Angela, who have been VIPs, they're basically part of the team now. They join us. I mean, they're with us every single show, which is cool, because then you get a chance to meet some great people like Jim tonight. So I think we got everybody. Jim, how you doing tonight? Thanks for. We're not starting the podcast. I'm just testing your audio by asking you what's going on.
Yeah, testing. Do you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice. Yeah, I'm doing great. How about you guys?
We're good. So where are you? Where are you at right now?
I'm back in California, so I'm back in San Francisco.
Okay.
Chase season is more or less over for me.
So
Sure.
where in
early
the Bay
for ya.
Area are you? I used to live out in Marin County for a while.
Oh, nice. I'm in Walnut Creek, so I'm in like Far East Bay.
Oh, and Walnut Creek, you said?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, cool. Okay, cool. Nice.
So so here's what we'll do. I'll do as normal. We'll do the pre-opening. I do just a quick little teaser that we'll throw in the beginning of the podcast. But then we'll start. Quick introduction. I'm drinking beer, so I gotta be careful. I haven't drank beer on this show for a long
He's
time.
gonna be belching through the.
I know, that's what I'm afraid of. It's like already.
That's raw.
I don't usually, say what I'm drinking because I already introduced myself at the beginning of the show. But this is from Fretboard Brewing Company, which is kind of here in one of the suburbs of Cincinnati, and it's their Rockin' the Rhine Oktoberfest Lager.
Nice.
And it's good, but yeah, it's obviously gassy or something.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting.
Is Jen supposed to be on tonight or not?
She's not going to make it. No,
okay.
she wasn't going to be able to make it. So we'll do the intro. We'll introduce the co-hosts that are on tonight, finding out what they're drinking. And then Serena, you've got Jim's introduction.
I'm good to go.
So I'll turn it over to you for his intro, and then you can start with the first question, and we'll shoot Jim some awesome storm chaser, photographer, all-around cool guy questions. And then we will take a break, Jim, somewhere probably around 9:30 or bottom of the hour, not 9:30 your time. What time was it? Like 3 in the afternoon?
It's 6 right now.
Pretty close. Okay. So anyway, towards the bottom of the hour, we will take a break. And then we'll come back and go from there. Okay. Jim, you got any questions? You good?
Yeah, I'm ready.
You ready to roll?
Bring it on.
Phil, VIPs stay in or green room?
Let's keep them on. I think, can everybody see everybody okay? That sometimes is a question if the thumbnails get too small. Yeah. But if we're good, you guys can mute yourself and let's keep them on. All right. Like I said, they're part of the team at this point anyway.
Yeah, this is an attractive bunch. We got to make sure we show off the faces. That's really what gets people in this podcast.
All right, so I'm going to do the quick pre-opening. How's sound levels, MJ? Am I too loud, too soft compared to everybody? Doing okay?
No, actually, I think that's pretty good. It's hard to always tell, but
yeah. All right, so just a little pre-teaser here, pre-opening in 3, 2. Hello, Storm Freaks. It's Phil, and we've got the spectacular storm chasing photographer Jim Tang in the studio. And Brady's here with his What's Happening Next segment, as well as some new hashtag Weather Fools we'll share with you all on this episode, number 144 of the Stormfront Freaks. All right.
Okay.
Time for the real intro. 3, 2. Hey, welcome everybody to the most entertaining weather podcast. This is the award-winning Stormfront Freaks podcast. We want to shout out to our special Patreon members that help support the show. And those that are even joining us live tonight, whether it's here in the studio, we've got Dan and Angela with us. I know tuning in the chat is Curtis and Steve also. But you can also join us as well. You just go to patreon.com/StormfrontFreaks, and you can be live with us in the chat or even on the show with one of our guests. Hey, the cool thing here is it's always happy hour. We were telling Jim earlier, hey, he asked, what did he need to prepare for? And I said, well, just bring a drink. That's really what you need to prepare. But we're going to go around the horn and find out which co-hosts are on the show tonight and find out what they're drinking so that you can kind of find out that we're pretty laid back, fun-loving bunch talking weather. So, MJ, I'm going to start up with you in Minnesota. Our producer and Skywarn coordinator. What are you drinking?
I disappoint tonight. I would hold it up and say it's pure vodka, but it's actually water tonight because I just wasn't feeling it. Sorry, it's like the first time, other than when I'm actually at my workplace and can't drink. But
right.
Wow, raising the bar. All right, Dina, our meteorologist and weather producer with the Weather Channel. What are you drinking?
I tried something new. It's called Truly, and it's a hard seltzer, and it's the fruit punch, and I'm digging it. Because I've been buying all kinds of different ones, and I'm not really liking a lot of them, and this one's pretty good.
It's hard to get good flavor out of those. That's what I find.
It truly is great. My recommendation's high noon, though. If you haven't tried it, I think you should try it.
Oh, you've had it. Yeah, it's good. There's a couple I didn't like. They were too flat or something, but this one's good.
Yeah. Well, Brady, our atmospheric science degree major there from Ohio State, what are you drinking, buddy?
I've had a little red wine, a little Prisoner red wine, although you might see my lips start to turn purple. That usually happens when I drink red wine. So hopefully we can just keep my screen nice and small so no one will notice.
Purple lips. You got a new nickname. All right. Serena, our former meteorologist at the Mount Washington Observatory. What are you drinking?
It's hard to follow Purple Lips. I have a beer from a brewery actually in Leominster, Mass. The brewery is called Stormalong, and it's called Red Skies at Night. It's a cider.
Wow.
It's very good.
You
and it's
always find the coolest stuff.
You do. That's pretty cool.
So do you save those, Serena, do you save those or take pictures of those? You want to put something in your background? That would be cool, as images of all these weather-themed beer cans and bottles that you've had.
That's a good point. I'm gonna have to go out and buy everything I've drank so far. Again.
What do you do you just find these online, or where are you there's no way they're at the store, right?
Sometimes this one I got at a local craft beer store. Otherwise, some of them I find online. So both. Okay. I save them just for the show.
There you go.
All right. Well, Serena, let's get to our esteemed guest.
Yeah, sounds good. So tonight we have Jim Tang joining us. He's a landscape photographer from San Francisco, California. And in 2014, he went on his first storm chase. And today he goes storm chasing a few times a year, mainly to the plains in Tornado Alley during the spring tornado season and to Arizona for the summer monsoon. So welcome, Jim. First question, what made you go on that very first storm chase in 2014?
Yeah, it was completely spontaneous. I knew there was a really nice trough, a really nice storm system ejecting out to the plains, and it looked like a multi-day potential tornado outbreak. So kind of like 5 days before it was supposed to happen, I booked a flight, I booked a rental car, and I just kind of went out there and just winged it.
So what made you do that? Is it something that you've always wanted to do? Have you had the interest in weather? What made you click that buy my airline ticket now button?
Yeah, so I've always had an interest in weather. I grew up when I was young. I grew up in Texas, and we get storms all the time, and so I've always had an interest in weather. And I always never felt like I was quote unquote, supposed to go storm chasing, but in 2014, I had been employed for, I was out of college for a few years, and I decided, okay, well, I guess this is time. Let's just do it. Let's try out, see what happens, see if we like it or not. And I went and I loved it, and rest is history.
So did you catch a tornado? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Dina.
No, I'm just wondering, how did you get yourself prepared? I don't think you went to school for weather. So how do you, are you self-taught with models and weather maps and things like that?
Yeah, exactly. I'm pretty much all self-taught. I used to be on a bunch of weather forums, and I'd read discussions from other people. I learned the ropes about, what all these little different parameters are, what to look for on the weather maps. And so, yeah, everything is basically self-taught on my end.
Wow.
If you self-taught yourself calculus, I'm going to be a little pissed. I had to take that. And differential equations and all that. But wow, yeah, it's one of those things, I guess, when you know what you're looking for, that's great.
So have you been in San Francisco your entire life, or where'd you start off, and how have you gotten to where you are?
Yeah, so after I lived in Texas, I moved to Las Vegas for half a year, and then I moved to San Diego for a few years, and then I moved up to San Francisco for college, and then I have stayed here since then.
So was it in Texas that basically you got kind of had the bug? Because it's hard to get that kind of weather bug in California.
Exactly. The irony is I went to the exact city that has the least amount of weather in the entire country. But exactly, Texas is where my love for weather grew up. I used to draw weather maps for fun that involved Texas. I don't know where it came from. It just kind of happened, and it's blossomed since then.
How about the photography side of things? Where did that when it's like chicken or the egg, like what came first? Was it the storm chasing or the photography?
Yep, exactly. So photography came along when I was in middle school, I think. My mom gave me kind of like, back in the day, we had these, 1 megapixel small little digital cameras. So she gave me a digital camera to play around on a hike. And I took some photos, and they were great. Or that's what I thought at the time, at least. My love for photography grew from there. So in many ways, my love for weather and my love for photography grew independently. And then when I started storm chasing, those two kind of merged together.
How big was that first digital camera?
It was like a small little. I don't know my measurements, but
it was pretty small. But it was small.
Exactly.
I have to laugh because back in my day we had Polaroids and film you had to send in to get developed. So.
Well, I was back when you had to click the button, right, MJ, and then
right.
All right, smile. All right.
I was gonna say this, MJ. Do you remember the first Apple digital camera that came out, and it was like a set of binoculars or something?
Exactly, absolutely.
Wow. See, I'm thinking of like the cube, the flash cube. Remember the flash cubes?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
My very first digital camera, it took like one of those floppy disks in the side of it.
Sure. Right.
Like, do you guys remember that?
Wow. No, I don't remember that. Wow.
Well, I'm gonna be real. I only remember taking pictures on an iPhone, so I don't know.
Brady the baby.
So, because Jim, here's the truth. I have been extremely impressed with your photography, and that's one thing, being a storm chaser, but not a great photographer. I'm very envious of other people that take great shots, because I never do, and that's never really my goal, is to try and get great. I want to get better, don't get me wrong, right? But I don't take great shots. So first off, I'm in awe of the stuff you've done, but where have you, I guess, learned that? Again, has that all been self-taught as well?
Kind of, a little bit. So I will say this: storm chasing has an incredibly steep learning curve, right? And so if you're adding on trying to learn photography on top of how to storm chase, on top of how to forecast, right? On top of getting to position, right? It's incredibly difficult. So I was pretty lucky in that I learned these things independently. And so when I started storm chasing, I already had an idea of how to take a quote unquote good photo. So I will say that. And then I don't know if that answered your question.
Yeah, no, just kind of self-taught. Was the photography also self-taught in learning that process? And
Yep, precisely, it was.
Wow.
I'm afraid to ask what else you've self-taught yourself.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
I've self-taught programming. I've self-taught. There's something else I forgot.
What did you go to school for? Jim? What was your degree?
My degree is in engineering physics.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I guess that
That
makes sense.
explains
He's not a dummy.
Our IQs totaled up is like the same as his. So cool. Okay, good. That's where we are.
But Jim, I looked at your portfolio, and the one thing that struck me out of all the different pictures you take is the lighting, and is perfect.
Yeah.
Like everything is like lit perfectly. Like, is it your? I want to just say it's your skill, but is like, are you picking the right film speed? Is it the camera? Are you lighting them up a little bit later? Tell me a secret.
First off, thank you all for the really kind words. I'm very flattered.
They're beautiful.
There they are.
Thank you so much. So in terms of lighting, so part of that is getting the exposure right. So, storm chasing, the pace is really fast, right? Things happen really quickly. You have to, first of all, the positioning is critical, and second of all, these storms are just a moving target. Right? They're moving all the time. So part of lighting is knowing which settings on the like basically having those settings nailed down, right? If you look at a scene, you can figure out, what's my aperture, what's my shutter speed, what's my ISO, right, from the get-go. So that's one part of it. The other part of it is there's the daytime lighting isn't really that great. It's okay, it works. But for really moody shots, there's a not so secret in photography that you want to shoot around sunset. You want to shoot around what's called blue light, which is the hour after sunset. And so half of lighting, in my opinion, is knowing, okay, well, it's sunset now, it's blue light now, this is go time. Like, I have to be on my game, I have to have my camera ready, I have to be ready to take shots during that kind of 2-hour window to maximize that quality of light.
Wow.
I'm gonna have to tell you, Jim, my philosophy of storm chasing is a lot easier. You just look for a storm. It doesn't matter what time of the day is. You're just looking for a frickin' storm. To try and time it, it would be obviously impossible.
Well, that's why the shots look the way they do, man. That's why they're so great.
I know.
Right?
Yeah.
They're even some of the big supercells with the blue light in them. I mean, it almost looks like somebody photoshopped it, but I know you didn't. But it's I'm like, how did he get that? Because what kind of camera do you use?
So I have right now I have two cameras. I have a Nikon D850 and a Nikon D750. Both are full frame DSLRs, and that's another thing that I wanted to bring up is that people there's multiple sides to the argument. Oh, does this equipment matter, right? As much as but equipment does help with low lighting conditions, especially that period after sunset, right? If you can photograph things with a higher ISO, you can get some really good shots. But the trade-off is if you don't have one of these full DSLRs, if you don't have a full frame camera, you get a lot of noise, and that degrades the quality of the image. So yeah.
So what I heard from that, Jim, is equipment really matters.
does matter to an extent. It does matter.
Your equipment really matters. Okay.
Yeah.
So now that we got that out of the way.
So Jim, I got a question. When you go out to, I guess you're already out west. When you go east to storm chase, what does that usually look like? Are you usually going for like a week at a time, or what are your trips and how many do you usually make a year?
Yeah, it's a good question. So before 2020, I took 2-week trips every year. So it was basically late May, 2 weeks, take a chasecation, and try to hope that there are storms in that window. So what I've realized is sometimes the storms sometimes the storms aren't there, right? And the other thing that I've realized is that at the end of that 2-week window, you're really burnt out, or at least I am. I don't know about other people, but I'm like really tired at the end of those 2 weeks, and I'm not really good at chasing when I'm like completely dead and tired. So nowadays, what I try to do is I try to take I try to optimize my. So first of all, I have a new base down in Denver, and that helps a lot because I don't have to fly from San Francisco back out to the plains every time. But I have a base in Denver, and I will take like a few days trips. Like I would take a 3 or 4 day chase trip down to, if it's in Texas or North Dakota, if there are setups lined up in a row. So that's how I kind of execute that nowadays.
Yeah, that's smart. Do you usually go alone, or you usually go with like a group of people, or?
And nowadays I usually go alone, especially since 2020 with this pandemic, right? So so nowadays I chase alone. Before 2020, I used to chase with a friend from San Francisco. So
yeah, that's awesome.
So solo chaser.
Yeah.
Right. What are the pluses and minuses in your eyes to doing it alone?
Yeah, good question. So the pluses, I get to do whatever I want, right? If I bust, I bust alone. That's I preach that to everyone, right? Like if I chase with someone else, if I bust because of my decision, or if I bust because of someone else's decision, it both feel pretty terrible. So that's the main plus.
That's like a positive negative.
It's the negation of the negative.
The highs are really high and the lows are really low because it's your fault, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
The negatives are I'm trying to do everything at once, right? I gotta drive, I gotta take photos, I gotta.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
Especially when you have a tornado barreling at you, right?
Especially when you have a tornado barreling at you, right? I always have to, whenever there's a tornado in front of me, I'm like, do I take video? Do I take photos? What do I do, right? What do I prioritize? So if with someone else, you can kind of split those responsibilities.
Yeah.
Hey, Jim, the one thing I was wondering I didn't see in your portfolio, but since you're in California, have you done a lot of photography of the wildfires? Because those are always so like, wow, when you see that, but that's also very dangerous. So have you done any of the fire photography?
Yeah, a little bit actually. So first, so in 2020, I met up with a friend and we actually went pretty close to one of the lightning fires back in August 2020. So I've done a little bit of it. It's a little more logistically challenging than chasing other forms of weather. Number one is fire is a lot more dangerous. Like tornadoes, you can always run away from, right? If the fire catches you, you're done, right? So I learned storm chasing by myself, but I would not do the same with chasing a wildfire, right? That would be fairly irresponsible in my eyes. And so I would chase with someone. But they also have media obligations. If you're chasing wildfires, you're usually having some sort of media obligations. Because if you don't, and you're just there for funsies, right? Like there's you could be potentially interfering with firefighting crews. You could be interfering with emergency services. So that gets pretty complex. Like I would love to chase more wildfires, but it's challenging. It's a different level of difficulty.
Yeah, because it's not like there's a radar you can look at and say, "Oh, where's the fire at now?"
Exactly.
Like,
Yep.
Yeah, you're just kind of guessing, and then you don't want to end up in the wrong place at the wrong time. So,
exactly.
Well, Jim, how was 2021 for you from a chasing perspective? Did you see a lot of good storms, get a lot of good photographs, or how was it for you?
Yeah, 2021 was my best year. So just some background, right? I've had a traditionally poor luck with timing my chasing periods. So in 2017, I went out for 2 weeks. There were no storms. In 2018, in 2018, I went out for 2 weeks. There were like a couple of setups, but again, mostly no storms. In 2019, I finally timed it well, but it was a year with a lot of smoke, a lot of flooding, a lot of logistical challenges. And then 2020, we all know what happened that year. So this year was definitely my best year from a chasing perspective. I was able to catch a bunch of tornado days from Texas to North Dakota. So I was very fortunate this year.
What was your most memorable chase out of 2021?
Ooh, I have so many really good memorable chases. I would say it's a tie between mid-May and early June. So mid-May, that was the Earth Texas event. That was maybe my best forecast I've ever made. I think I targeted Lubbock that day from the get-go. So that was very memorable because that gave me the confidence to have confidence in my own forecast. That gave me,
Well, yeah, after a year and a half off, you got to get your mojo back, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And then June, I went on a trip to Montana, but on the way, I accidentally found a tornado right outside my backyard in Denver, and that was just absolutely incredible. I know, right? It's terrible.
And you're talking to some guy who's never seen a tornado. That's not fair, man. That is not fair. That's bull.
I know, right? But I was really lucky there. And then June 10th, I think I had one of my best chases ever. There was a tornado underneath this massive sculpted supercell. It's just an incredible structure tornado combination that I had never seen before. So that was just memorable. My best chase ever.
Jim, tell me about your Lubbock day then. In your forecasting, how did you start the day? What are you using? What did how'd you pick your target? Kind of what are the tools and walk us through that for yourself.
Yeah. So I started the morning in Lamar, Colorado. And I knew I had to drive south. There were a few targets on that day. There was a panhandle target around Amarillo. And then there was a target further south near Lubbock. And one thing I noticed is that if we looked at the 500 millibar winds, the 500 millibar flow up near Amarillo was a lot weaker. It was around 20 knots, which is pretty bad. And down near Midland, it was a little bit better, around 35 knots. So I knew that, first of all, whatever target I made, I would be biased south. I did not want to stay near Amarillo. And then the other thing I noticed that morning was that there were 65 dew points all the way west to New Mexico, which is really good. So the moisture quality was really, really good. And my philosophy is if you get a supercell and you have good moisture, that usually does good things, almost regardless of anything else. That's my philosophy. So I knew that, if we could get a really good isolated supercell and that quality moisture, there'd be a chance of magic. And so I drove all the way down to is it Plainview or Plainfield? It's like the town north of Lubbock on I-27. So I stopped there, met up with a few friends, and they were kind of, and at that point, there were storms around Amarillo, but as predicted, they were fairly messy. It was a sign of weak shear. So I had a choice to decide between what looked like some towers developing to the west, but also the HER model was developing thunderstorms a little further south towards La Mesa. And so I kind of just stayed there and didn't do anything because I wasn't sure where to go south or go west. And in the end, I was almost about to bail south because I felt like, if I choose these towers to the west and the stuff near La Mesa blows up and does really good things, then I'm going to look like a clown. But I kind of just stuck to my guns and then I went west, and the rest is history.
You sound like a meteorologist almost.
So on that note, we're gonna take our first break, but we're gonna go out to Little Village people, Jim, singing one of our favorites, "Go West."
All right.
Never
I can sing along.
All right, so yes, we're gonna take our first break. We'll be right back with Jim right after this.
When that music started, I'm like, shit, what's playing in my ear? Like, I've got a tab somewhere that's playing.
I thought the same thing.
Yeah, I did
like,
too.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Phil threw us all for a loop.
Did you guys see Steve Collier's comment? He said, instead of hearing Purple Rain now, I'm going to hear Purple Lips.
Purple Lips.
That cannot
There's that
stick,
here.
guys. That can't stick.
Right there.
Yeah.
All right, I totally fucked that up because
You did. You were supposed to do
I was supposed to do a plug and all that
Plug.
shit too. So,
Oh, that's all right. That's the magic of
but I
editing,
had to
right?
play
When we
the
come
song, and then I'm like, okay, this is probably a good out.
kind of.
Wait, this is YMCA, right?
Same group that does YMCA.
It just sounds like the same song. So they did another song that sounded like the same song.
Hey, it was the disco era. Every song sounded the same.
Got it.
So Curtis asked, and first of all, Curtis, I listened to episode 1 of your PDS podcast today, by the way. It was awesome. It was so fun to hear that. But he had a question for Jim, and he says, when do you use the D750 that has less than half the MP of the 850? Can you tell the difference in most cases?
Yeah, so I use the two interchangeably. What I'll do is I'll attach one lens onto the 750 and another lens on the 850. So, for example, if I want to get this super wide angle of the storm, I use one camera, and if I want to zoom in a little more, I use the other camera. And so for me, they're both like good enough. The megapixels don't really matter that much after a threshold. So I have more than enough megapixels on both of them, and so I'll just use one or the other in certain situations.
Cool. There you go, Curtis.
All right, so Angela's back. Where'd you go?
I had to go pick up a trailer.
Oh, really? Okay. You had to work?
Yes. Have work today.
Yikes. That's so fun.
Wow, and that was quick then, if that's what you were doing.
Yeah.
Oh, I flew. I was like, I'm missing everything. I'm like, yeah, it was bad.
Well, you made it in one piece.
Yes.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
In like less than 20 minutes. So.
All right, so here's what we'll do. We will come back out of break. I'm going to start with another question for Jim. We'll maybe go for another 10 minutes or so, Jim. And then we will hear... Whoops. Try that again.
Whoa.
We'll hear that.
Ooh, nice.
That's the so it'll be time for our lightning rounds. We're going to play a little game show, Jim, with you and our freaks. And then when we're done with the game show, we'll go to our second break. Okay?
Do Dan or Angela have any questions? We didn't ask them.
Yeah, good point. Sorry.
I miss everything, so I don't know what to ask.
You'll get next round. You'll get next round.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got a quick question. So you're traveling from California, and what's your equipment that you take with you, or do you have stuff out in the center U.S. or what?
Yeah, so before I had a base in Denver, I would pack my tripod, my camera. I used to have a lot more equipment. I used to have a GoPro and a camcorder and an iPad and a lot of other stuff. I mostly don't use any extra equipment now anymore because I found that the more equipment you have, the more you're juggling equipment instead of enjoying the storm. So really nowadays, all I use is my camera and my phone. So I just have to pack my camera stuff. It's not too bad.
Yeah, you just answered what my question was going to be. So thanks, Dan.
Well, really, that's all you need.
No problem.
I know he's got to get another one.
Now I got to quick think of something else.
No, you asked the same question.
Okay, I got it.
Because everyone didn't get to hear it.
Well, that's true. Not everybody heard it.
I've got another one.
People in the
Fine,
raw
I'll steal it.
aren't going to like that, though. They're not gonna like that.
That's true.
Like, he's asking the same question. What is he doing?
I do have a
That's
question,
how we
actually.
roll.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, Angela.
What's your opinion on the new mirrorless cameras?
Ooh, yes. So I don't have a mirrorless camera, and I thought this long and hard end of last year. Should I get a mirrorless camera or not? And my justification back then was that it's still rather somewhat new technology. It's actually not really new anymore at this point, but back in 2020, it was still somewhat new. So I decided to go to a camera that was really similar to my D750. But that is one of my goals this next year, to get myself a mirrorless camera. I do think that they are first of all, they do have some new features, or at least they're newer compared to the older, heavier DSLRs. And let's see, where the downsides though. Okay, so this is something I also thought about last year. The downsides are that they are a little more prone to dust on their sensors because of the way the camera is designed. So that's kind of like one downside, that in an environment where there's a lot of dust next to the storm, that would be a huge downside. Yeah. And they're also a little lighter, so in heavy winds they'd be potentially a little problematic if you don't have a sturdy tripod. So
give a layman like me that knows nothing about cameras, mirrorless. What is that?
Yeah, so in traditional DSLRs, there's
no mirror.
There's no, basically there's a mirror inside the camera. So in traditional DSLRs, it's like a multi-step process to get the light on the sensor, and mirrorless cameras, it skips that step where the light goes directly to the sensor. And so that the main upside to that is that your camera is a lot lighter. So if you want to go, for example, hiking, and you want to take a good camera to a hike, well, you've cut your weight by half, which is really beneficial.
There you go.
Steve said never would have thought about the dust. So thanks for saying that.
Are they waterproof? Like, can they get wet?
Yeah, so I've had my cameras in terrible conditions, so they're built very well.
Okay.
All right, so we'll come out of break, start with some questions, go to lightning round, go to break 2. Everybody good? Any questions for anybody else? Jim, you still rocking?
Yeah.
What are you drinking, by the way?
I am drinking this homemade wine that my mom brought me.
No kidding.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's really good. It's like a pomegranate wine.
Wow.
She has a pomegranate tree at her home. And so she uses the extra pomegranates to make wine.
Huh?
God,
that's pretty cool.
Extra. I'd use all the pomegranates.
Is she self-taught?
Yeah, what's the point?
She's self-taught. The whole family's smart.
Yeah.
That's funny. All right, here we go. Coming back. 3, 2. Hey, welcome back, everybody. We got Jim Tang in the studio. And so, Jim, we were talking a little bit on break with some of our Patreon members during the Raw recording about kind of what else do you use. You talked a little bit about the fact that you've kind of gotten rid of your camcorder, your GoPro, and everything else, and you're pretty much DSLR and iPhone user. But I want to know kind of what's your next... I mean, what are you trying to get better at, or what have you been experimenting with photography-wise, right? Yep. What are you working towards? What's next on your I want to tackle list? Yeah,
so I do want to eventually find a way to do more time-lapse, do more video stuff. So today I'm almost 100% focused on getting good photos, but I know that time lapses and videos, they're the cash cows, right? They're the stuff that actually makes money. So I do want to do more of that. The fun fact, I actually got a camcorder just for the 2020 season, and 2020 was terrible, right? So I think me trying to do video is like bad luck. It's cursed. So really? Maybe I shouldn't. But yeah, that'd be my next goal.
Well, hey, realistically, time lapse is not video, right? It's just a bunch of single shots, just all melted together.
All looped together, yeah.
Right. Yeah. So you're probably good with that. Okay, and have you done some time lapse then? Is that something you have done? What have you found to work and not work?
I've done a little bit, but honestly, I have not really done much. Like I haven't really published anything, any time lapses at all. they're a pain to edit. So I never got around to editing my time lapses. So that is something that I want to work towards, though, in the future.
Yeah.
So Jim, if a lot of us are not big photographer. We don't know a lot about photography. So if we want to go chasing next season, hint, hint group, we talked about this mirrorless camera and your Nikons. Like, what's a good camera that's pretty decent for us to start with?
So one is the best camera is the camera you have on you. You'll hear that from a lot of people, and that's 100% true.
Thanks, Yoda. Wow, so wise.
So deep. There's our title.
No, but seriously, like any camera will do. If you're just starting out with photography and chasing, I would get maybe like a lower end DSLR, just so you can get used to playing around with the DSLRs, seeing what its capabilities are. And then if you really like it and you really enjoy chasing, you really enjoy taking photos, then over time you can get better and better equipment. But that so a lot of people they get DSLRs and then it's a steep learning curve, right? To photograph with the DSLR, to photograph in certain in the manual mode, and to play around with the exposure triangle. It's a steep learning curve. So so I think to start, I would focus on, well, let's get something kind of lower end, something simple, and then work our way down.
And when you say, Jim, when you say lower end, do you mean like in the couple $100 price range, or like what if I would go out and look on the internet, like what would I say would be kind of a lower end DSLR?
Yeah, so it'd be something like I don't even know what the Nikon version is, but they had a D3300 model, which was geared towards beginner photographers.
Okay.
So that'd be where I would start, and I think they go like around 500 or even less, so they're fairly affordable.
Put it on the Christmas list.
Yeah. I got my camera a long time ago. I have a Nikon D80 and it's been sitting in a drawer somewhere for a very long period of time. And I want to get back out. I want to photograph some more things. Do I just like chuck that in a river somewhere and start over?
Is it black and white? Like does it take color photos?
Does it have film in it?
It still takes the big floppy disk in the side, Phil.
Oh no.
But no, really, do I is that, can I do that, or is the technology changed so much that it's like now it's worth the upgrade?
No, I would take it out and try using it. And if it works, you can totally use it. The technology for cameras hasn't really changed that much except for the mirrorless revolution, but the DSLRs all work the same, right? There's like 3 different inputs that go into how bright or dark your photo is. Shutter speed, aperture, ISO. That has been the truth since the beginning of time and will be the truth till the end of time, right? So there's 3 settings. There's like a sensor, right, that captures the light. So the principles are the same. It's just the mirrorless skips a few steps, but generally camera technology doesn't change that much.
And the colorizing technology too, Serena, is just it's amazing nowadays.
It is.
What you can do to black and white photos. So Jim, I just kind of a final question as we wrap things up, but I'm always curious because I have, I've followed you on social media, and obviously you're really good about just being honest with your chases and when you do hit a bust and how you feel, because it can bring you down. I mean, you work hard and you don't sleep much, and you're driving miles and miles and hours for something that you hope you can catch for minutes. So mentally, what do you do? Because I think it can help a lot of people too, but what do you do mentally when you do go through busts and you go through hard chases and hard years? Yep. Mentally, what are you doing to help yourself kind of overcome and pick up and get back out there? What things help you?
Yeah, I tweet about it. No, but seriously, yeah, it's tough.
It's like online therapy.
I'm sorry.
It's like online therapy if you tweet about it.
Almost is. I feel like getting thoughts out into the open helps, right? Just acknowledging the fact that you feel shitty. That helps. That helps a lot. I don't know. Like this past year, what I've realized is that if there for me personally, I don't know for other people, but for me personally, I'll start to feel it. If I start making some terrible decisions, like in my mind, I kind of feel in my mind and my heart that, okay, you know what, maybe I should take a break. And so for me, getting even like a couple of days off from chasing, that helps. Like I know in 2019, late May was just super active. There were about 11 days straight of at least enhanced risk type setups in the planes, and I chased every one of those. And by the end of it, I had like 5 straight days of busts. I was running on fumes, and we actually got a few good setups on those last few days that produced some really good stuff, but I was just out of my game, completely off. And I knew that if those previous 5 days that didn't really do much, if I had just taken a couple of days off, it might have helped me with my mental health, might have helped me recharge it a little bit. And then maybe those last 3 days, I could have actually done better and made some better decisions. So I think being in tune with yourself and knowing, okay, you know what, I actually feel tired. I don't feel great. Sometimes it's good to take a break.
So Brady, there you go. Your 25 plus years of breaks from storm chasing should have your mental health.
I'm charged and ready to go. Let's do it.
Right, it should be right and ready to go. So hey, that's the sound. It is time for our lightning round. So Jim, this is our game show of flashy and brilliant, tongue-in-cheek, as I say that, questions that we always play with our guests, and we always invite everybody else to play along with us as well. We always include the freaks in this. Always makes it fun. So we're going to play a little game tonight. I don't have a name for this. I didn't have time to come up with a clever name. But I understand, Jim, you are potentially a fan of rap music. Is that accurate, or is that a bunch of bullshit?
That is a bunch of bullshit, and the reason is because of my Chinese name starts with a Z, and so my kind of Americanized name that I go by starts with a J. So I always joke around that I'm Jay-Z.
Okay, so you ought to be really good at this game. So here's what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna start. So this is basically, we're gonna complete the rap lyrics. So I've got some rap songs, and there's a word missing out of the lyric, or the verse, or whatever, and you just have to fill in the blank with the correct word. And so Jim, I'm going to start with you, and I'm not going to give you any hints at first. You just try and complete it. If you can't complete it, then I'm going to go to the freaks, and I'm going to give them a multiple choice response to figure it out, right? And then I'll start the freaks on the next one to see if they can complete it without the multiple choice. And if they can't, then I'm going to go to you. Okay, so we're going to call it like complete the rap lyric.
Here's the thing. I'm gonna warn you in advance. I have zero knowledge of anything pop culture related.
Oh, but buddy, you're gonna totally nail this. I'm telling you right now.
Okay,
these are easy.
Jim, I got news for you. I don't either. So you're gonna be fine.
And here's news for you too. Just wait till you hear me read these rap lyrics, and this is the entertainment in and of itself. All right, so here we go, Jim. We're gonna start with you. The Eminem is the rapper. The song is "Lose Yourself." Okay, so here's the chorus. You better blank yourself in the music. The moment you own it, you better never let it go. So you better blank yourself in the music.
Okay, I'm gonna say it's not gonna be lose. It has to be gain.
Gain?
Darn.
That is incorrect. So I'm gonna go to the freaks, and I'm gonna give you multiple choice. All right. So I'll say the lyric again. You better blank yourself in the music. The moment you own it, you better never let it go. So the word is either lose, brace, shoot, or prove.
Lose.
It's lose. The song is called "Lose Yourself." It's lose.
That is correct. It is lose. All right, freaks get one on that one. All right, freaks, I'm starting with you on this. No multiple choice for you. Snoop Dogg. Song is "Drop It Like It's Hot." When the pimp's in the crib, ma, drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. When the blank try to get at you, park it like it's hot. Park it like it's hot. Park it like it's hot. So when the blank try to get to you.
Cops?
I think it's something
Police,
else. I don't want to
cops,
say
something.
Not cops. All right, Jim. So multiple choice to you. When the pimp's in the crib, ma, drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. When the blank try to get at you, park it like it's hot. Park it like it's hot. Park it like it's hot. It's either boys, niggas, pigs, or hoes.
Oh man!
When the blank try to get at you.
I knew.
I'm gonna guess A.
Boys?
Yes.
That is incorrect. Nobody gets the point. It's pigs. So whoever said cops was close, but it's pigs. When the pigs try to get to you. All right. Jim, here's 50 Cent.
Okay.
The song is PIMP.
Okay.
I don't know what you heard about me, but a bitch can't get $1 out of me. No blank, no perms. You can't see that I'm a motherfucking PIMP.
Oh!
Oh my God.
Write these.
Wow.
So no blank, no perms. You can't see. What's the blank?
Okay. Okay. Can go from the top again.
All right. I don't think I'm helping you, but I don't know what you heard about me, but a bitch can't get $1 out of me.
Oh my God.
Were you drunk when you picked
MJ's
this?
writing down every single time. He's got to put a beep in this thing. So I don't know what you heard about me, but a bitch can't get $1 out of me. No blank, no perms. You can't see that I'm a motherfucking PIMP.
Dang it. Bitches?
Incorrect. All right, freaks. No blank, no perms. You can't see. It's either rims, afro, peace, or Cadillac.
I might be cheating, but I'm looking at the chat and Curtis is saying Cadillac, so I think it's Cadillacs. Is it Cadillacs or cataracts? He said Cadillacs.
It's Cadillac. So we'll give it to the. You're cheating, but we'll give it to Curtis.
Right, thanks,
so Curtis
Curtis.
I'll turn
gets
my
the
chat
point.
off. I'll turn my chat off.
Freaks don't get that. Our Patreon folks get the point there. All right.
They're going to beat us.
So here we go. So freaks are on you, Dr. Dre. Song is Next Episode. I'm on one. I might bail up in the Century Club with my jeans on and my team strong. Get my blank on and my smoke on, then go home with something to poke on.
Phil, I need you to repeat that, but I need you to repeat it in like Dr. Dre's voice and try.
So it's get my blank on and my smoke on. What's in the blank?
I'm gonna say
Drink
freak.
or something? Oh, freak
I like
on?
freak.
That's a good
I
one.
like
Freak. Yeah.
Yeah.
Incorrect. All right, Jim. So it's get my blank on and my smoke on. It's either pimp, drink, ride, or weed.
I'm gonna guess drink.
That is
great
correct.
Oh,
Wow.
I said that.
Jim is
got
on the
one.
board.
Yes.
All right, we got a couple more here. So now we're starting with you, Jim. This is Ludacris. Stand up.
God.
Wow. We that's what it says.
I want to hear Phil actually rap it.
That's what it says.
Wow.
Blow. We ain't got nothing to worry about. Whoop ass. Let security carry them out. Watch out for the medallion.
Oh,
Phil,
God.
you would be a great rapper. I'm just going to say that right now. You would kill it.
Here we go.
Uh-oh.
Okay, watch out. Watch out for the medallion. My diamonds are reckless. It feels like a blank is hanging from my necklace.
Oh, no.
So I'll try and do that without laughing this time, Jim. Blow, we ain't got nothing to worry about. Whoop ass, let security carry them out. Watch out for the medallion. My diamonds are reckless. It feels like a blank is hanging from my necklace. Any idea?
I'm gonna guess ho.
It's a good
No,
guess.
but a good
Knowing
guess.
these rap
Good guess.
songs.
All right. So freaks here. It's so it feels like a blank is hanging from my necklace. It's either bitch, midget, nigga, or rock?
What?
Can we go with rock?
Yeah, I think rock, Serena. I like that.
That's incorrect. Yeah, it feels like a midget is hanging from my neck.
That one was almost so
just
far out
bleed
there. I
anyway,
had to
so.
almost take it.
I was like, that's the fake one.
Yeah.
All right, Freaks, last one. I'll start with you. Jay-Z, Jim, this is Jay-Z. Here we go, you boy.
All right, let's do it.
From the song What More Can I Say? So here we go, Freaks. There's never been a blank this good for this long, this hood or this pop, this hot or this strong with so many different flows. This one's for the song. The next one I switch up, this one will get bid up. So there's never been a blank this good for this long.
What a poet, man. I mean, gosh, that's
There's never been a
just unreal.
song, rap.
Incorrect. All right, Jim.
I like the guess, Dina.
Multiple choice. You get this and you win, by the way.
Oh, man.
So there's never been a blank this good for this long. It's either rapper, boy, nigga, or hood.
Oh, my God.
There's never been a blank this good for this long, this hood or this pop, or whatever, the rest of it. What do you think? Did he freeze? You still there, Jim?
Oh.
Oh, yeah,
Can you hear me?
it's you. Yeah, it's you. All right, what was your, we missed it. What was it? What's your choice?
Are you asking for my answer here? Or?
Yeah, of those four.
I think Curtis
yes.
got it.
CD or
I'm going to guess hood.
You gonna say hood?
I think Curtis got it. I think
It's
the
incorrect.
Patreon's going to win.
It's been nigga. There's never been a nigga this good for this long.
Curtis got it. Patreon won. Curtis won.
Yeah, Curtis won.
Did he get it?
He did. He said, I'm not typing
it.
So that's it. Also, can we use little person, guys? It's 2021. Like, let's
Yeah,
get with the program.
Not, yeah. What? Hey, they're just songs, man. I'm just saying the lyrics.
Anyway.
I know. I'm just kidding.
I'm just saying the lyrics. All right, so Jim, great job. Anyway, playing. You got one, and you'd say you don't even know rap, so you got that one. That was good. So tell us, how can our listeners follow you on social media, and where can they find your work?
Yeah, they can follow me on Twitter. I am WXMan with 2 N's at the end. Or they can follow me on Instagram. My handle is StormChaserTang, and I just changed that recently. So look for me on there.
Oh, nice.
All right.
You're changing your brand. You're not supposed to do that, though. You realize that, right? All right. So I'll tell you what. Hey, everyone knows giving season is upon us right now. And at helicity.co/SFF, they've got a huge selection of weather and hurricane-themed T-shirts and merchandise, including our exclusive Stormfront Freaks shirts, beverage containers, and stickers that your weather someone will want, or you might even want to put on your list. So just go to the exclusive site, helicity.co/SFF, and you're also going to earn 5% off your entire order, no matter what you put in your cart. And while you're there, click on the Brands tab to find all your Stormfront Freaks favorites. Again, that's at helicity.co/SFF. Hey, it's time for a final break, but it's not the end. You're going to need to help us determine what happens next with Brady, and also find out what's coming up on our next episode. So stay tuned, and we'll see you shortly. We'll see you shortly. What the fuck kind of ad lib was that?
We'll see you shortly.
All right, I just
Jim,
added
hey,
you to Instagram.
do me a favor. Will you do a little sound clip for us?
Yeah.
And just say, hey, this is Storm Chaser and photographer Jim Tang, and you're listening to the Stormfront Freaks podcast.
Okay. Hey, this is Storm Chaser and photographer Jim Tang, and you're listening to the Storm Freaks podcast.
Hey, A for effort.
Love it.
But it is Stormfront Freaks podcast.
Oh, gosh.
But hey, we always tell everyone that screws it up, just you got to go to our YouTube page and you'll see a whole clip of people like Reed Timmer and everybody else that mess that up too. So
oh my god,
you're in good company.
Gary England had to take like 4 tries. You got to rub it up, rub it down.
All right. So Stormfront Freaks podcast. Jim Tang, you're listening to the Stormfront Freaks podcast.
Okay, so what should I say again? Like from the top.
So say, hey, this is Storm Chaser photographer Jim Tang, and you're listening to the Stormfront Freaks podcast.
Cool. Okay, I'll start. Hey, this is Storm Chaser and photographer Jim Tang, and you're listening to the Stormfront Freaks podcast.
Yeah, baby. Good job.
Nailed it.
Boom.
Good job.
Nice.
Where's the audience?
Sorry.
It's not the
He was
audience.
cute.
There we go.
There you go. He was
right,
having
so-
a good time right up until the end there.
So, Jim, here's the scoop. If you need to run and go, you can go. We appreciate your time. If you want to stick around here for the last 15 minutes or so with the last couple segments we have, you can stick around and comment from the peanut gallery if you want.
Cool. I'll stick around. I have some time.
Sweet. That's awesome. All right. Go back to Dan and Angela. You guys have any other questions for Jim that we forgot to
I
ask?
have a selfish question. So I just got a Canon Rebel T3i, I think. It was like $50 on Facebook Marketplace. Has like 5 different lenses. Like, where do I start? Besides,
Yeah. So you're asking like where are you starting in terms of like which lens or?
yeah, because it has like a 50. I don't even know.
Yeah.
It was
So it's a good deal. $50 is a really good deal, especially for 5 lenses. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would start with so basically the smaller the focal length, right, the more zoomed out you're going to be. So I would start with something like something towards the 18 or like there's some numbers that are kind of standard, so 18 or 24 millimeter lenses. I would start with a lens that has zoom. So there's like there are 2 kinds of lenses. There's prime lenses and then there's zoom lenses. And so the prime lenses will have 1 focal length on them, and they're fixed at that focal length. So they're essentially fixed on 1 level of zoom. So you want to start out with something that has a little more range of zoom, for example, like an 18 to 55 millimeter or 24 to 120, where you can kind of just play around, see what zooms like work for different setups and so on and so forth. So yeah, I hope that helped a little bit.
Yes. Thank you.
Awesome.
So pretty much when you put the lens on, you'll see the difference, right? I mean,
Yeah, you'll be able to see through the viewfinder and like you'll be able to see like if you just switch around lenses a few times, you'll be able to see like which ones correspond to which zooms and stuff. Yeah.
Dan, do you got anything?
Not at this time, but thank you.
You look like you're at the edge of your seat, ready to pop a question.
I'm just
You're just at the edge of your seat.
He does look particularly inquisitive at this moment. Yeah.
All
all
right,
that rap music.
so coming back, Brady, we're going to start with you with your
Wait,
what
what-
happens next.
Oh, was I supposed to do that? Psych! Haha, look at you go.
No, I totally knew you were bullshitting, but that's all right.
man.
If it makes you feel cool, like you just
It does. It does, actually.
just zinger. You got a little zinger in there, or what? All right. So Brady. So on that note,
Send me a postcard.
oops, no. So we're gonna bring you into
We do have mail.
a little unbelievable.
Nice.
Okay.
We get all kinds of copyright dings tonight. That's good.
Oh yeah, that's true. So we don't make any money on that.
No, we
anyway.
don't.
It doesn't
We
matter.
don't.
So all right. So Brady's gonna play. How many videos you playing for us?
I got 3.
Okay.
Share your
So-
screens, folks.
Yep. Good call.
So Brady's gonna play some videos like he always does. He'll stop it and ask us what do we think is gonna happen next.
Got it.
I got a Chrome tab to share.
Got Brady, Dina, Serena, and now Phil.
And then Brady, do you have links to those videos
Yeah, I could send them to you.
that you can email those to me? So just say, hey, you can see these videos on episode 144 show notes.
Okay.
Okay, and then Dina, I'm going to you, right? With a little doing hashtag weather fools. I have a weather fool.
Okay, who else?
I have one.
Serena. I have one, and who else? Just us?
Just the three of us.
Okay.
And then you can finish by just saying again, they're on episode 144 show notes. And then Mark, Freak Fan Box.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I will close it out. And then Jim, you're welcome. You're part of the team now. You're welcome to just kind of joke, chat, say whatever. Dan and Angela, you guys can too. You can unmute yourself if you want and comment on any of the weather fools or Brady's what happens next, any of that stuff. All right. We'll wrap that up. Anybody got questions? We ready?
Ready.
We're ready. All right, Brady, we are coming to you in 3, 2.
Woo! Welcome everyone to this jam. Welcome back to Stormfront Freaks podcast. Man, that is a great song. Phil, great selection here. What time is it? It is time for Brady's.
Whoa. Okay, well, stop.
Yeah, stop. We got something going on. I wondered what that maybe.
You're like, your voice is like jumping all over the place. Like,
really? All right, I'll go closer. Maybe it's because I was moving around.
No, it has something to do with your,
That's like that problem
My
I
mic.
have once in a while.
Yep, a little bit.
Should I?
Although he's getting cut out.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just keep saying something.
Switch your mic back and forth.
E, F, G.
Switch your mic back and forth from one to the other and then back. See if that fixes it.
It's probably because I'm close out my.
It's really like clicky, staticky.
It's internet too. Let me try and do something here.
Are you streaming a movie while you're watching a movie while you're doing this?
No. Can you guys hear me better now?
Better.
All right, sounds better.
Yeah, it does sound better.
Is it better?
Yep.
Okay.
All right,
Yeah.
let's do it again. Hey, good energy on that. Keep it up. You're a rock star.
Do it again.
Good work.
Do it
All right.
again.
Love
Coming
it.
in 3.
All right.
3, 2.
Woo! Welcome back to the Stormfront Freaks podcast. Phil, great song, man. I love it. I don't know this song, but it's got a good beat. Welcome back to show 144. What time is it on the Stormfront Freaks podcast? It is time for Brady's What Happens Next. For those of you that don't know this segment, I'm going out on the internet, or the dark web as Phil likes to call it. I'm looking for videos, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the first couple seconds of the video, and then I'm going to pause it, and I'm going to ask the freaks what happens next. Now, for those of you that are on our audio podcast, these videos and recordings and the links to them will all be in our show notes under show 144. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and let's get started with Brady's What Happens Next. So I'm going to start here, and this is on the end of hurricane season. So I'm going to start with the hurricane without ruining anything else. I'm going to go ahead and let the video play for a little bit. You can see someone's driving in this. It looks like a fairly bad hurricane. The winds are gusting. I'm going to go ahead and pause it right here. What do you guys think happens next?
Power line explodes, or
something falls over.
Something blows across the road.
Is this the one where the shark went flying off of the sign?
I think
really.
there might be videos of that, but I guess we'll have to see if there's a shark. I'm hoping there's a shark. I'll go ahead and play it. All right, so the winds were.
Okay.
You can see the house.
There it goes.
It's just
The whole roof comes off of there.
Which is a house, and the winds look pretty bad. I mean, that house actually looked kind of already knocked over a little bit, but that's just a reminder as hurricane season winds down. Man, hurricanes are powerful stuff. All right, on to the next one here, and I picked this one because fall is upon us. So those of us in the Midwest and the East are dealing with a lot of strong low pressure systems. So gusty winds and stuff. It's a pretty clear time of year. Can't really say the same for Jim. You out on the West Coast, you probably are getting some rainstorms, maybe not a lot of wind. So I'm going to go ahead and start this video. It looks like a pretty sunny day, and there's I think about a 10-year-old girl. She's running up to her door. She looks like she's pretty excited. I'm going to go ahead and pause it right there. You can see the wind starting to gust. What do you guys think happens next?
She grabs the door, and the door
flies open.
kind of picks her up.
Ooh,
there you go. Well, Dina, I think you've seen this before in the digital space because that's exactly what happened. She grabbed the door and the door goes.
Oh, there she. Oh my God!
Whoa!
All the way around.
Does a 180.
Wow!
Like the door completely opens with her holding onto the handle. Wow!
Wow!
I know. And her mom's just like in the door, and I see her mom just as soon as she starts to.
I think she
they
ends
pointed
up
out
in
she
the
didn't.
garage.
Yeah, exactly. She was holding a phone too, and somehow held onto the door and the phone at the same time. So good for her, right?
Good for her.
Moms are
She's
awesome.
not
All
done.
Yeah, there you go. All right, this final video here, this is just kind of a reminder here that severe weather season, the second half really of severe weather season comes in the fall. So, October, November, you can still have tornadoes, you can still have strong winds, you can still have hail. So that's, this video is kind of a reminder of that. So I'll go ahead and start it out. It looks like, okay, the camera's starting to zoom in. The winds are pretty strong. Looks like dust is going everywhere. What do you guys think happens next?
Like it looks like maybe that's like a big event, could be a concert, and I would say like a rock star goes flying by with holding onto his microphone.
Does a car go flying?
Any other guesses?
Those cars?
Debris. I'm betting on debris.
Lightning.
Yeah, I mean, I think you guys can guess pretty well. I mean, the camera's zooming in on the cars, and wind starts to pick here, and you can see a tornado start to just. I mean, it's starting to throw some cars. You see, there it throws a car.
Look at
man.
that.
So
Wow.
I'm gonna rewind it here because it looks like it missed most of the cars. It was to be this, you can see towards the beginning it tossed some, and then it's to be this car right here. Because this car, all the other cars are to find. But this car is like,
you are. So Brady, you must be stealing some. I think Curtis commented you're stealing your neighbor's internet because every time you play the video, your audio just like gets lost.
Oh no!
You personally, so it seems fine when you're not playing the video, but that was cool, man.
So go to the show notes and check them out.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
I want to know which high school kid, is the one that actually got their car thrown because
yeah, right.
They'd be like, why was my car thrown and not yours?
I want to know how that school district video even like followed the tornado.
Yeah,
like
really.
someone because it looks like it should be a stationary camera of the parking lot, but then it followed the tornado. That was kind of strange.
It probably has some ability afterwards to do that.
Yep. Well, check out the links in the show notes, guys.
Right.
Now it's time for Weather Pools.
All right, this is the time of the show we call #WeatherFools, and it's the part of the show where, everybody's got a phone now with a good camera, and we are taking videos of you doing stupid stuff in the weather. And we have a couple good weather fools tonight, so we're going to let ladies first. Serena, you have a good weather fool, right?
I do. So Trooper Bob _SC posted this video about Go Bus Go. And if you click on it, it is a bus driving through massive floodwaters. And I don't know what that big bump was, but we've talked about
it was a kid,
a body.
But we've talked about turn around, don't drown, and the comments ripped Trooper Bob apart for this, saying hey, whatever happened to turn around, don't drown. So he said go bus go. I said no bus no. Please don't drive through deep floodwaters, especially if you're a school bus full of children.
Yeah, why is he encouraging that? He's like rooting for the bus. Go bus, go.
Yeah, I think he's maybe more my weather fool than the actual bus driver.
Yeah, you got a duel.
So.
That's like a duel.
No.
2 for 1.
Yeah.
You got a 2-fer on that one.
Oh man.
And Phil, you got a good weather fool. You always have a good weather fool.
All right, so it's been hard. I won't lie to you guys. I've been having such a hard time finding weather fools. There just hasn't been a whole lot of in the last month or so, we just haven't had a lot of tropical stuff. There hasn't been a ton of severe weather, not a lot of flood. I mean, there just really hasn't been a lot, but
sounds like a listener challenge.
So it is. So I
oh no,
I had to dig deep for this because obviously it's starting to snow. And so this is a video of taken from 2 different snow plows that, how sometimes snow plows will go down the highway staggered. right?
Yeah.
One's out in the lead and one's behind it, plowing the snow that the one in front kind of dished out. And so this is a video taken from both of those plows showing what you should not do when you are driving behind two plows like that. But it shows, you see that vehicle coming up along the left.
Oh boy.
Right. And then they show, and he's going to cut right across in front of the second one.
Lord.
What a dumbass.
Next to the lead one. He basically split them. Driving super fast because he's probably got a pickup. I got 4x4. I can do this. And so just people, when you're around snowplows, it is best to just travel,
so dumb.
stay away. Yeah, stay behind from a distance. Yeah. They're not going to be going as far as you're going. Trust me, they're going to pull off at some point. So yeah,
I wonder if it's too bad the video didn't go on farther when you see the guy spun out ahead of him.
Yeah, once the snow plows to help him.
Yeah. All right, I've got a cute one, but it's pretty quick. So this guy's out. I don't know if he's in his backyard, but he's got one of those, lightweight canopies in the backyard. And it was probably from a party because I bet you he had a few beers in him. And the wind starts blowing, so he thinks he's going to grab it. And the wind picks it up, flips him right over, and pretty much somersaults
and
him
away
into
he
the
went.
Next yard. Yeah, watch this again because he tries
goes
to
right
grab
over
it.
the fence.
He is gone.
It tossed him like it was incredible.
That's good.
I just love it, and it's quick, but it was so funny. I'm like, he tried, but he failed. So
that didn't just drop him over the fence; it flew him
it
away.
flipped him, and he did almost like a somersault in the air with that thing. It was funny. You got to watch that one. But if you want to watch any of these, you can check out the links on episode 144 of the Stormfront Freaks show notes.
Send me a postcard, drop me a line.
You've got mail, baby,
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Dug through the box and found a couple. Had to take one of them from a little while ago because we haven't had an opportunity to do the Freak Fan box lately. So this is from Morgan, Morgo_82. This was in reference to one of our Women in Chasing episodes with Jessica Moore and Jenny Hagen. And Morgan says, just gave it a listen. Great job to both of you. Really enjoyed the show. So thanks, Morgan.
That's nice.
Thank you
for checking in on that. And then Ashley Morris at Miss Ashes 92 sent a picture that of the back of her laptop and had just added some new stickers to the laptop. And one of them, Stormfront Freaks, I Break for Storms.
Look at that. I've got that one too. And it's, you get every now and then you get a honk, every now and
then. So thank you, Ashley, for doing that. And thanks everybody for checking in. Please continue to do so.
Very good. Well, hey, I think that just about does it, everyone, for this episode of Stormfront Freaks podcast. Thank you for tuning in or watching. Before I get to our next guest, if you like the show, don't forget to subscribe or follow the Stormfront Freaks Network so you get notified and you receive the latest episode of our show delivered right to your podcast player the moment that it gets released. As I mentioned earlier, you can also visit patreon.com/Stormfront Freaks. You can check out all the ways we can do more with you and how you can also help support the show, whether it's the live access to view and chat during our raw video recordings like we've had tonight, which has been a lot of fun. Exclusive merch. You can even join us and our guests in the green room. All you got to do is visit patreon.com/Stormfront Freaks to join the team. And also always a special thank you to those supporting the show. Jim, special thanks to you tonight for coming on. We had a great time. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Jim.
Thanks, Jim. Happy Veterans Day, too, to everyone as well.
Yeah. So anyway, it's a long time coming. Glad we got you on the show, Jim. It was fun to finally get a chance to meet you. And Freaks, I'm going to go around the horn here a little bit as well and let people know how they can follow you and or find your content. So MJ, I'll start with you. Where can people follow you?
Just check out @MarkStormPod on Twitter.
Okay. Serena?
Everything is WX Serena with a CY. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.
Cool. Dina, how about you?
I'm mostly on Twitter at LadyPilot70.
Okay. How about you, Brady?
At Brady Harris WX. I also have a few burners, so you see me around every now and then.
Okay. Can I tag you on things now on Twitter, or
yeah,
do you still have that blocked?
After you told me that, I went ahead and enabled it. I think you did too.
Very good. All right, cool. Well, you can find me on Twitter at PhilStormPod and right here at Stormfront Freak. Our next episode, so everybody, we're actually going to be back in 1 week. Instead of bi-weekly, we're going to be back next week recording Raw for our Patreon members on Thursday, November 18th. And we're going to be with meteorologist and Midland radio rep Bruce Jones is going to be back on the show. We're going to get to talk a little bit of the history of the weather radio and also highlight some of the great Midland weather and radio products for this upcoming holiday season. So the audio podcast is going to be up in 2 weeks. So we'll actually post the audio podcast after Thanksgiving for the holiday shopping season. So that'll set you up so you can kind of check out all the great Midland products that they've got. So for MJ and Brady, Serena, Dina, Jim, Dan, and I think Angela. Yep, Angela is still there as well. I'm going to go ahead and signal the all clear, and we will catch you guys next time. So good night, everybody.
Good night.
Peace.
Bye.
Cool. Great job, guys. Good show.
Yeah, it was fun.
Right. Jim, thank you, man. That was fun.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was fun.
Yeah.
That was fun. I thought you at least had somewhat, and you did have somewhat of a clue of rap songs, but
you get a group, a bigger group of no rap background.
Our Patreon killed it though.
Yeah,
This is the longest set
God.
of bleeps ever.
Oh my God,
we've ever had.
Wow.
Like, what do you need to bleep? Like
all of it.
Yeah.
Damn near all of it.
Yeah, everything.
Our I think that's the first time our Patreon actually won. I mean that's pretty.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
It was a 3-way tie. Freaks got one, Curtis got one, and
no, Curtis
and
got
Jim
two.
got one.
Yeah, Curtis had at least
Curtis
two.
got two.
Yeah.
They won.
Oh, did
Yeah.
he? Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. He got
Yeah.
the last one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
That's right. All right. So Patreon
go.
Patreon wins.
There you go.
Patreon for the win.
Your Red Cross water's coming
Water.
in now, so and the whistle will come probably a week later too. So don't worry about that.
So I'll let you guys know. I just I did not have time this year to reach out to all the companies that we normally do to do our holiday shopping show.
That's all right. What if we do a Secret Santa?
So I did, but I did get a hold of Bruce, and the goal was just to kind of make it because Bruce and Midland, they have always been super supportive of everything we do, and so I just thought, hey, let's give them an exclusive show, and then we'll get Bruce on and talk about weather radios and the history of that stuff, and where that technology may or may not be going, and cover a couple Midland products. So
Yeah, fun.
that's it.
Heck, we could do a Secret Santa too this year. I don't know if you guys want to do that.
Yeah, you know what? That's not a bad idea.
Weather themed gifts could be like something like that. You know, it doesn't have to be like big. Could be just small stuff. You just
you don't put your name on the return address? Is that how we would have to do it?
Yeah, and you can just do it on Amazon or something. It'd be easy.
Oh, that's true.
That's true.
I don't know how to do that.
We'll just put Phil as the return.
What's that? What do you say? I don't want to do
know
that.
how to do that.
You don't know. Mark's out. I'm out.
I'm out.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we'll do that. I got enough time
that'll
to
be fun.
send an email to everybody and see who wants in. We
Say
don't all
goodnight
have
to
to.
the audience.
You could good night, audience.
Good night. Good night. Thanks for watching.
You can even